Hello YouTube. It's like this. God created everything. Whether you believe God created it, everything you know has been created. You know that this desk's been created, you know the cars, you know the houses, you even know the birds, the fish, and the trees have been created. Okay? Look at this. This has been created. If you don't believe that, go outside and look and see the architectural design of how the grass grows, the trees are, the bushes. Just look at it. It's been created. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. Everything you know has been created because everything you know has been created. It's like this. Since everything you know has been created, your minds can't comprehend something that was never created. In order for something to never have been created, it must have never begun and it will never end. Therefore, it's eternal. Everything you know has a beginning, began, and everything you know will then end. Therefore, everything you know has been created. Because everything that's been created has a beginning, everything that has been created will have an end. But there's something for never to have a beginning and something for never have the end is eternal. Okay? Everything we know has been created. I know, because you know, scientists even know. Because it's the only thing they know. They don't know nothing that hasn't been created. It's like this. Let me ask you a question. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, the chicken. Well, the egg made the chicken, but the chicken made the egg. That's such a simple question, therefore, but nobody has an answer to it. And you'll say the chicken. The correct and true answer to that is God made the chicken, and the chicken made the egg. Alright? Okay. So, everybody knows everything's been created because the only thing they know has been created. Whether you know it or not, it's like an instinct. Everything you know has been created. And then people say, God created us. Who created God? God was never created. God's time is different than our time. Our time itself's been created. But God's time, it never begun and it'll never end. Therefore, it's eternal. God's eternal, whether you believe it or not. Our time began and our time will end. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. God never had a beginning and he never had an end. He never begun. What was before anything was God. If you can think, alright, what was before the earth? Your mind can only think of black. Like, alright, what was before the Big Bang and this? You just think of black, darkness. And if you can even say something there, then what was before that? But what that darkness was God. He was before anything. He always was. In God's mind, how he is, he never didn't exist. He always existed. But your minds can't comprehend that because you can't comprehend something that's eternal because the only thing your mind can comprehend is something that's been created. Therefore, something that's eternal, you can't even say, how did God live forever? How does he never begin? Because everything you know begun. For something to not begin, you can't. You'd be like, how? It's not possible. Because the only thing you know has been began. So, therefore, we covered that. Even scientists themselves know everything's been created. Because the only thing they know has been created. They know the trees have been created, they know the birds have been created, but they don't believe there's a creator. So the only other explanation they come up with is that it created itself. Follow me here? So, if the only other explanation they can come up with is that it created itself, think about it. Think about it. Who heard the Big Bang Theory? Two molecules collided, boom. The Big Bang was created by itself. By two molecules colliding, it created itself. The Earth molding itself. The water, the creation of evolution, it's by itself. They say nothing started it. Okay? They don't believe there's a creator. Alright? Now, I want you to think about this. Since everything we know has been created, the only thing we know has been created. Okay, do you get that? Go outside and look. Look right now, out your window, and tell me that this stuff created itself. This stuff has an architectural design. Look at my desk, and the bed, and that. Go outside and look how... Oh my lord. Okay. This is what God just put on my heart just now. You don't. If you say this stuff created itself, it's foolish. Because look at how the earth is tilted in such a way that it exactly has 4 seasons. And if it were tilted in any more of a way, the 4 seasons wouldn't be the way they are. Tilt of the earth, the exact distance from the sun, the exact distance from the moon, the revelation of the earth, how it spins. This stuff, the earth, the moon, the sun, the water, the has been created. It has a design. It has a how do you say it has it is what it is. And if you want to sit here and tell me that there's no God, then you have to sit here and tell me that this stuff created itself. If you want to sit here and tell me that there's no God, you got to tell me that I can't comprehend it. It says in the Bible, if you don't believe in God, there's a fool. If you say there's no God, then you pretty much, in my mind, are telling me that death created itself. Because in my eyes, that would be the same foolishness it would be to say there is no God. You sit there and say, hey, Michael, bro, no one created that desk because you don't know who created that desk. And you don't know how that desk got there, so you're going to say that desk always was there. How can you possibly say that? Somebody created that desk, and somebody put that desk there. Somebody created us, and somebody put this earth here. Somebody tilted the earth in such a way that it had 4 seasons. Somebody distanced the sun exactly far enough from the moon. And you want to know something? If you say there's no God, therefore, you have to say that all this stuff happened by itself. If you say all this stuff happens by itself, you must be a fool, no matter how smart you are, no matter what. I don't care if you're the smartest man in the world. I don't care. If you're the smartest man in the world, and I bring you up this, if you're the smartest man in the world, the first thing you're going to tell me is, if God created us, who created God? Because his mind, the simplest thing of God, his mind can't comprehend it. If God created us, who created God? Because his mind can't comprehend that God never began and God will never end. Because the only thing he knows has begun, and the only thing he knows began. Therefore, he can't know nothing that never begun, and therefore he can't know nothing that will never end. So, if you say there's no God, you have to be a fool. Look at the trees, look at the bushes, look at the sun, look at the earth. I'm going to get a little bit more into this. It's like this. Alright? Listen. The reason why God doesn't show his face in the sky is because it says in the Bible the best thing he gave us was free will. If God's got eternity, if you like video games, you like Xbox, you like MySpace, you like Facebook, you like fishing, you like skateboarding, God has the eternity to do whatever he wants. And maybe this is what he likes. Maybe this is what entertains him. Maybe, I don't know, because all I know is what, this is my opinion, God never told me this, but God's got eternity to do whatever he wants. If he wants to, I believe that people say, why are we killing each other? Why this? I know God very well, whether you believe it or not. Like, I know God. I know him. And I know that he had nothing to do with any of this. I know he did this, and his hands are totally away from the earth right now. And everything that's happening is our fault. Did I tell you, if your mom gets arrested, if your mom says, don't go out there and smoke weed, don't go out there and do this, don't go out there and do that, and you go out there and do it, and you get arrested, whose fault is it? Your mom's fault or your fault? Your fault. Your mom didn't call the cops on you, but she told you. The same thing God does. He tells you. He doesn't call the cops on nobody. He tells you, and then you end up going to a place, just like your mom said, is not a good place, and you end up blaming it on God. And some people even know they're going there, and they blame it on God. They're like, oh, God's going to throw me to hell. God's not going to call the cops on any of you. Okay? All right. What I'm trying to say is this. If you don't believe one thing I say, and you believe something else, you must not believe everything I say. Because one thing I say that is not the truth, everything I say must not be the truth, because everything I say must not be from God. If I say one thing from the truth of God, therefore everything I say must be the truth of God, because if I say one thing from the truth of God and the other thing isn't the truth of God, therefore everything I say must not be the truth. So if you're going to believe one thing I say, don't believe anything I say. I mean, if you're not going to believe one thing I say, don't believe anything I say. But if you're going to believe one thing I say, you have to believe everything I say. You got that down? Okay, so if I'm wrong about this, everything I say must be wrong, what I just told you there. There's a door standing in front of your face right now. There's a door in front of your face right now. The only way through the door is through Jesus, okay? If that door happens to close, which it will, after I told you the door's right there, and the door closes, whose fault is it that you're on the other side of the door, and on the other side of the door it's going to be a very wicked? Whose fault is it? Your fault or God? Your fault. Okay? That door is going to close very soon. Very soon, people aren't going to be able to walk through that door like they can right now, whether you believe it or not. And if you don't believe one thing I say, don't believe anything I say. That door is going to close very soon here now. and it's not going to be your fault, but your own. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but get on the other side of the door. God bless you guys, and I'll make more. I don't know, like just get right with God or get left behind.